Have you ever thought about how an entire civil war could be kicked off? Not with an army, not with an invasion, but with a single, perfectly timed speech. Today, we're diving into exactly that. A moment where a bloody political victory was completely flipped on its head by the power of words. Okay, so picture this. Absolute chaos on the floor of the Roman Senate. Julius Caesar has just been assassinated. The conspirators, led by the noble Brutus, are standing over his body, their hands literally stained red. And for this one brief moment, they are completely in charge. In their minds, they've killed a tyrant, and Rome is finally free again. But here's the thing. Their victory, it's incredibly fragile. Turns out, killing Caesar, well, that was the easy part. Now comes the real challenge. They have to win over the people of Rome. Brutus, you see, is a true idealist. He genuinely believes they did the right thing for Rome, and he's sure the people will see it that way too. So his big plan is simple. Let's just walk out into the public square and tell everyone the good news. He's expecting applause, not what he's about to get. And this right here is the real problem. They didn't just kill some politician. They murdered the single most popular man in the city. So this isn't a military fight they have to win. No. This is a battle for hearts and minds. They somehow have to convince all of Rome that this was an act of liberation, not just cold-blooded treason. And it's right here, in this incredibly tense moment, that their leader, Brutus, makes a decision. It's a single, catastrophic misstep, one that comes from his own strict sense of honor, and it's going to lead directly to their downfall. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal friend and right-hand man, comes to them with what seems like a simple request. He just wants to say a few words at Caesar's funeral. The conspirators are split. Cassius, who's way more politically savvy, he immediately smells a trap. And this is where you really see the two of them clash, right? Cassius is the realist here. He knows Antony is a powerful speaker and a huge threat. But Brutus, he's so caught up in his own ideals, he thinks he can control the whole situation just by speaking first and laying down some ground rules for Antony. He completely, fatally underestimates his opponent. And just like that, with those 4 simple words, Brutus seals their fate. He gives Mark Antony the one thing he desperately needs, a platform. This is the exact moment everything starts to fall apart for the conspirators. So the stage is set for what is probably one of the most famous speeches ever written. Now, Antony knows he can't just storm in there and start attacking the conspirators. After all, Brutus just won the crowd over. So instead, he plans to slowly, carefully take their argument apart, piece by piece. Seriously, try to imagine the scene. Antony is standing there before this massive Roman crowd, with Caesar's body literally at his feet. He's got their attention, sure, but he definitely doesn't have their sympathy yet. He starts calmly, respectfully, with a phrase he's about to turn into a weapon. This is so brilliant. He never, not once, calls Brutus a liar or a traitor. No, instead, he uses this incredible irony. He just keeps repeating that phrase, and Brutus is an honorable man, over and over again. And each time he says it, there's a little more sarcasm, a little more poison, until the word honorable itself sounds like an insult. The way he builds his case is just masterful. He methodically dismantles Brutus's entire argument. He asks, if Caesar was so ambitious, why did he weep for the poor? If he wanted power so badly, why did he refuse the crown 3 separate times? See, he isn't telling the crowd what to believe. He's just leading them, letting them connect the dots themselves. And you can literally hear it working in real time. The whispers in the crowd start to shift from, yeah, Brutus made some good points, to, wait a minute, Caesar got a raw deal here. In just a few minutes, the entire tide has turned. Okay, so he's won over their minds. Now, he goes for the knockout punch. Their hearts. He dramatically pulls back the cloak covering Caesar's body, revealing all the stab wounds, even pointing out which traitor made which cut. He turned Caesar from a political idea into their beloved friend who was brutally butchered. I mean, look at this. The transformation is just unbelievable. Minutes ago, this was an orderly crowd listening to some political speeches. Now, thanks to Antony's words, they've become an instrument of pure, raw vengeance. So yeah, Antony did it. He successfully turned the grief of an entire city into a weapon. But the thing about a weapon like that, once you let it off the leash, there's absolutely no controlling it. And at this point, all reason is just gone. The crowd just erupts into this violent frenzy, pouring into the streets of Rome. Their sadness has curdled into blind rage. They're not citizens anymore. They are a mob. And when a mob gets going, there's no justice, there's no reason. They're hunting for the conspirators, sure, but honestly, they'll take anyone they can get their hands on. And all of this leads to one of the most chilling, horrifying scenes in the whole story. The mob gets their hands on a guy named Cinna. He's not the Cinna they're looking for. He's a poet. He's screaming, pleading with them, trying to explain who he is, but it just doesn't matter. They tear him apart. Why? Simply because he had the wrong name at the absolute worst time. This is the horrifying, real-world cost of Antony's speech. His perfectly chosen words just got an innocent man murdered. And just like that, the Civil War has truly begun. So this whole thing leaves us with this huge question, one that's just as relevant today as it was back then. Antony was a master of persuasion, no doubt. He got what he wanted. But by turning grief into a weapon, he unleashed a kind of chaos that not even he could control. So it really makes you wonder, right? When words become weapons, who's truly in charge? The person speaking, or the raw emotion they've just set free?